What's going on, Bills fans? This is Bills Latest. I'm your host, Michael Korn. We are brought to you by FanArc, and the Bills win 44-32 over the Bucks. Man, that was to say the least, an up and down game. That was wild. It looked like the first quarter, the Bills were going to get blown out. Maybe even still into the second quarter, it did not look like it was in the Bills' favor. That defense, whew. If you got a running back, you can put up points. You get third stringer putting up points, but the Bills sneak it out. Some goofy play calls, man. We got to see Gabe Davis, Hardman. It was weird. We saw Hardman return that punt for about 60 yards, whatever it was, and then on that offensive possession, we didn't see him. He wasn't even out there. Then they finally put Davis in on that possession, and he's the one that got the big first down. So I don't really. Maybe he did end up getting hurt in the third quarter there. They ruled him out in the fourth, Hardman. So I don't know if he was banged up, but he looked fast when Josh went for him on that deep ball. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe he was hurt, but it was just weird. We didn't see those guys in the rotation as much as I thought we would, especially with Coleman being out. We'll get to that in a little bit. But the Bills, they hang on. They hang on. They needed that win to go to 7-3 to stay alive because they're still behind the Pats. But, man, a loss would have been a shot to the bow. You could see in the first quarter when Josh was getting frustrated. You could see it. And then you finally, at the end of the game when he scored, you saw him kind of smiling a bit, looking a little bit more giddy on the sidelines. But they still need help. They still need help on that defense. They got to get healthy. Injuries are just mounting up. Cook barely ran the ball. He touched it 16 times for 48 yards. He's still got to be banged up. And if he's a little bit banged up, why is he even out there? Why isn't Ty Johnson and these other backs getting the ball more? They're going to live and die by injury this season. And they need more health on that defensive side of the ball and talent help on the offensive side of the ball. But it was the Josh Allen show. An ugly turnover in the beginning of that game, but kind of turned it. You have to live with Josh making some bonehead plays sometimes. He's just too good. You have to live with it. He is your best player. I really don't understand why and if any, but I'm sure there's going to be people criticizing him saying he should have done a better job taking care of the football, and he should, but also at the same time, like, he is your team. You need him to make special plays. And he's now tied Cam Newton with 75 rushing TDs all time. I think Steve Young's in third with like 40-something. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So he'll be passing that. He'll be the record holder next week. Because he's going to get one next week or the following week. It's going to come this season. But again, you have to live with the turnovers. Especially when you're dealing with the wide receivers he deals with. He doesn't have a bunch of talent around him. Again, he has number threes at best around him. So I just hope there isn't a ton of, Josh, you got to take better care of the ball. Again, yeah, for sure. But also, you have to live with that. Because without that, again, this team is the Jets. Take Josh Allen away from this team, you are the Jets. He is the difference maker. Live and die by the sword. And today they thrived. He came up big. 3 rushing TDs. Like, it's better than most running backs. Most running backs would kill to have 3 rushing TDs. The only other, well, you know who else? Jalen Hurts. That's something Jalen Hurts does. But because they got the snowplow going now in Buffalo. But it was the Josh Allen show. We had to live. I was a little worried in the beginning of that game when he just did a nice little chest pass, little basketball pass instead of taking the safety. but you have to let him just play football and just hope to God it works out. Because again, if you do not have him, you're not going to have anybody in that team to really be a difference maker. And as I've kind of mentioned before, Keon Coleman, man, I've already been calling him a bust, but this might be, usually these things, like you're benched for a game because you're late to a meeting and then boom, on to the next one. But can anybody tell me if the Bills offense, did you guys even notice him not being out on the field? I think the answer to that is no. Did we see Gabe Davis kind of making the catches that Coleman should have been making? The answer is yes. So that not only probably got him out of this game, but we might not see a lot of Coleman the rest of the year, especially with the addition of Gabe Davis. He'll probably be suited up and on the sideline, but I don't know how much we will see him in active plays. And I wonder if the Bills GM is thinking like, man, talk about a blessing in disguise. I didn't really want to bench him because then I look like an idiot because I'm the one who drafted him. But ooh, he's late to a meeting. Let's bench him today. Hopefully these other guys play well. Then we really don't even have to talk about it. Now I look like a genius. Now I look like I have my head on my shoulders straight. I got the locker room in order. I brought in Davis again to make Bills fans happy. And Gabe Davis is better than Keon Coleman. So I don't know if we see a lot of Keon Coleman anymore because Gabe Davis is back. And it should have been a sign when he didn't know how to sign the contract. That could have been a big red flag, no? Like maybe this guy isn't going to read the playbook as much as we need him to. Maybe he isn't going to remember the plays as much as we need him to, regardless of the potential talent there. Because even with all the potential talent, none of that has shown up on the football field. He shrinks when he gets on the field. He doesn't play to his size. He plays down to the size of every safety and corner in the league. That's why I really think Gabe Davis just came back in and reinserted himself in this lineup. And I don't think Coleman gets a lot of touches, a lot of looks the rest of the year. But man, talk about you're just late for one meeting. And then, bam, your career could be done in Buffalo. And really, kind of, at least he should be benched for a little bit. The other guys have played better. Those other guys should be getting a chance. He's gotten his chance. So we'll see in the next game what they kind of do with these wideouts. Because now, again, you got a handful of number threes all over the place. Pick and choose. Pick and choose who you want to start that week, I guess. Whatever matchup you think is the best. But I think Gabe Davis played his way back into this lineup, especially how much Josh was just looking for him. Especially with Kincaid out. But this defense, if they cannot figure out a way to stop the run, they will do nothing in the playoffs. They will be an early bounce in the playoffs. They keep coming up with these big turnovers, and that's huge. Absolutely huge. But you gave that up, all those rushing yards today, to basically a third stringer who had a career day against you. That's going to be worrisome come playoff time. Because all these playoff teams, for the majority, they can run the football. And if they're running the football on you, that's keeping Josh off the field. And that's our superstar. If he's off the field, we're in a heap of trouble. So I just don't know how they can fix that defense. McDermott said it was gaps. They needed to do better with gaps and tackling, but I just don't think they have the players. And the scheme is just meh. It's just meh. So until they figure out, they need a lunch pail guy. They need a guy that just goes in there and just absolutely dominates and just wants to work hard. It doesn't seem like that. Like Bosa's kind of that, but he also makes some kind of bonehead plays sometimes. And I'm worried that might come back to bite him in the playoffs. So we'll see. Secondary's playing a little bit better. They're the ones getting a lot of these turnovers. But the tackling just looks soft. They just look so small out there. So they need to figure that out and button that up quick, or else, again, the playoff push is going to be tough. But they got it done today. They beat the Bucks. And that's really all you can do right now. Win each week, try to stay healthy, and move on to your next game. But again, they win. Bills win. This has been Bill's Latest. I was your host, Michael Korn. We were brought to you by FanArc. We hope you guys liked this episode, and we hope you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and we'll be back with more content for you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much.